Hi guys, and now we're going to do cook-off number 2 with Grandad Bob. Today, first thing, Merry Christmas, little glass of mulled wine. So first thing to do, put the oven on, 200 degrees, and you get your pastry out probably 10 minutes before you're due to start your recipe.
Grandad Bob?
Yes.
What are you making?
We're making Christmas tree special.
What does that mean, Grandad Bob?
Well, it's a nice funky surprise for Christmas. And it's a Christmas tree treat made of chocolatey Nutella spread and puff pastry. Stolen from the internet. Not my invention, but I stole it from the internet.
Well, that sounds yummy.
But it tastes really, really good.
And what's it going to look like?
It's going to look like a Christmas tree. So the first thing to do is to put the oven on 200 degrees, as I said. That's ready to go. And then get a baking tray, about that big. Don't know how big that big is, but big enough to fit a roll of pastry in it. So then what you've got to do is get little bits of butter on a bit of kitchen roll, and then grease up your tray, like that. Christmas! And then get some baking parchment and put that inside, right way up, and then it should, because you've put that stuff underneath, it should stick to it. Look at that.
Sorry, Grandad Bob, what's the right way up?
The one side's a bit smoother than the other side, so that side comes on the top. The smoother side just means it's not going to stick to it. And actually, why not stick a little bit of the leftover margarine on there as well? Right, first thing to do, it's not necessarily the first thing to do, but it's the thing I like to do first. You've got to separate your egg. So what we want is egg yolk to brush over the top of the thing afterwards, but just yolk, not yolk and white. So what you do, you crack the egg, and you try, I do it with my thumbnail, to get 2 halves to the egg. And then break it in half, all really slowly, and then pour the white bit out, like that, and keep the white bit, because I've got another trick for that. There you go, look at that. And then just keep pouring it back and forwards from one side to the other, and you end up with an egg yolk. Yay. So we've got an egg yolk in there, and we've got an egg white in there, with a little bit of egg yolk in it, but nearly did it. Right.
We'll get that shell out, mate.
Bit of shell in there. That's not supposed to happen. Right, next thing, put the tiniest little couple of drops of water in with your egg white, egg yolk, just to make it go a bit further. It's literally, in fact, let's measure it. Teaspoon, I reckon 3 teaspoons. 1, 2, 3, just like that. And then mix it up a little bit. And that's just for brushing the top afterwards. So we keep that there. Right, now, what we've got to do is we've got to get our puff pastry, roll it out, and make it into a Christmas tree. Now, I'm not very good at by eye. Nana Kath has a talent for by eye. Measuring things by eye, just using your eyes to make sure you're doing it right. But I can't do that because I'm useless. So, what I'm going to do, but that's no good, is it? I think that's too short. So we're going to have to do it by eye. Wow. Okay. Back to the drawing board. Right, so what are we going to do is we've got to cut out our pastry in the shape of a Christmas tree. Now we've got 2 sheets. And what the plan is that you put one sheet on top of the other when you've put stuff in the middle, which we're going to do in a minute. But for starters, let's get both sheets out and put one on top of the other. Using the, don't put it straight on top, put it on top of in the paper it comes with. Because otherwise, if you did this, they just stick together and then we'd be in right trouble. So you roll it out like that, so it's on top of the other one. They're not quite the same size, but they're nearly the same size. There you go. Might be worth just grabbing the rolling pin and just giving it a quick flatten, like that. Not hard, because you don't want them to squash to each other, just make sure they're roughly the same. And then, what we've got to do is find the middle, like that. Find the middle, and then start about, I don't know, if that's the middle, I've marked the middle up, then we go probably maybe 3/4 of an inch either side of that, and that's where I'm going to start, and then I'm going to work out a straight edge down to about an inch off the bottom, something like that. So we're going to go for that from that first line to that line over there, and we're going to cut that bit off like that. Whoa, look at that. Oh, and that's going straight through both. Not all the way through maybe, but near enough. And then we're going to do the same this way. We're going to cut about an inch, and then we're going to go all the way from the top down to there. I'm using the rolling pin as a ruler. Near enough, there we are. And then we've got to do another bit at the bottom here. So again, working out the middle. And you're not going to waste that bit, we'll come to that in a minute. But working out where the middle is, you then got to mark out what's going to really be the trunk of the tree. And it's got to go about an inch from the bottom. So I'm going to go like that. And I'm going to go from the bottom like that. And then that bit's going to come off there because it's a different size. Right, so now I think, all being well, we've got a nice shaped Christmas tree shaped piece of pastry. Keep this bit because you've got a job for that in a minute. And that bit there, same again. Look at that. Look at that bit there. Look at that. Looks like a Christmas tree. Woo! That's the plan. So then, I want to put that in our tray we've done. Like that.
Better if that was flat.
It's got to be really good idea, that is. Yeah, it needs to be flat. So let's put it in flat, and it should just about fit. Oh, only just. Might cut a bottom off there just to make sure it fits nicely. Could do with a bigger tray, couldn't we?
Or a smaller tree.
Smaller tree, bigger tray. Who knows? Right, so that's ready to go. So we've got the Christmas tree in. Now the next bit is 75 grams of Nutella. Oh, chocolate hazelnut spread. And then what we've got to do is we've got to spread it all over the insides. Like that, look at that. Doo-doo-doo. Put it in places like that, put blobs in and then spread the blobs out because it's easier. It's good to have some Christmas music in the background, get you in the mood. On the chimney tonight. Doo-doo-doo-doo. You might have to lick the spoon when you're done. That looks alright, doesn't it? I think we've got most of it. Chocolate face now. Right. I now need a knife so I can spread it nicely all over the place. Trying to get all the blobs to join together but without squashing the pastry. Working. Working. Look at that. You want it all covered all over. Whoa, look at that chocolate. Mmm. Right, now it's all nicely spread. You've got to lick the knife as well. Right, next bit, really important. If anybody has a nut allergy, don't have it. But if you don't have a nut allergy, this is my favourite bit. So you sprinkle over all, this is ground almonds and chopped almonds and flaked almonds all together.
So almond 3 ways?
Almond 3 ways. And you sprinkle them all the way up the Christmas tree. All the way top to bottom. Right, next is, this is the really hard part, the bit I'm not very good at. So finish off cutting off those edges because they didn't quite cut through. But they marked it well enough so they're going to be roughly the same size as each other, which is what we wanted. And remember, we've got a job for this bit. We'll show you that bit in a minute. Santa buddy. Good thing about doing it underneath like that is it marked it all out, so I know that they're going to be roughly the same size. So now I'll be really careful, because I've got to somehow get this on top of the other one without it all falling apart. This is why you have to take it out of the fridge before you do it, so it's pliable, it's movable, but it's not, because when it comes out of the fridge it's quite hard. So at least this gives you a chance of getting it in the right place. So put the one bit on top of the other. That worked alright, didn't it? It's close enough. Look at that. Almost looks like a Christmas tree. So we're going to cut the end off a little bit to make room. I'm going to use that one. I'm going to cheat. Stay with me, guys. I don't think that baking tray was quite big enough for my tree, so I'm going to move it to another one. Look at that, that's better. That's a bit of a better fit. Good, that makes me happy. Right, so now comes the tricky bit. What we've got to do is we've got to, so if you kind of roughly work out a line from there to there like that, you can do it, put it in place if you want, if it's easier. Do. It's not quite right. Okay, so now we've got to go about 1/2 inch or 1 centimetre to that line, all the way to the edge, like that. Don't, you've got to push down, don't slice, because if you push down, you're going to move the pastry. Remember, there's them almonds underneath, and you're cutting through both bits of pastry. So go all the way from the top to the bottom, about 1/2 inch apart. Not all the way to the middle, just to about the width of your tree trunk. Bit of a slow bit this is, I'm afraid, guys. You've got to be careful, because it's all got to be, got to do a trick after this. And very important part is don't forget to drink your mulled wine before it gets cold. Merry Christmas, guys. Right, turn it round and copy. What you've done on that side, you're going to repeat on this side. Roughly. Doesn't matter if they're not exactly aligned with the other side, because it's a tree. And we know that tree branches are not exactly the same on both sides. So it doesn't matter if they're not perfect. So all the way to the top. Right, now, got to do a clever bit. What you have to do is take each finger that you've created, and if it's not cut, make sure you have your knife with you. And then you've got to twist it once, twice, and then push it like that. So you're getting a twisty sausage for each arm. Twist, twist, push. Do 2 twists on each one. Twist, twist, push. All the way to the top. Twist, twist, push. Twist, twist, push. For Christmas there is just one. I don't know the words for this one. Underneath the mistletoe. Maybe go 1.5 up here because you haven't got a lot to twist. 1.5. There you go, it's better. 1 and a bit. One bit. And then same the other side, all the way from the bottom to the top. All I want for Christmas. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Got chocolate fingers. Just got to give them a quick wash so I don't get chocolate all over the nice front of the pastry. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit, but you don't want much. Right, keep going all the way to the top. All the way to the top. And then maybe I say again, if you need to, just go for 1 and a bit as you get to the top, because there's not quite so much tree to play with. Alright, now, you know we had that bit left at the start. Now what we've got to do is we've got to somehow create a star to go on the top of the tree. That's exciting, isn't it? Might want to roll a little bit of this. A little bit of flour for dusting the rolling pin so it doesn't stick. A little bit of flour for dusting the worktop so that doesn't stick. Right. Let's do that first, make it into a ball, it's easier. Right, we're going to roll this out so that it's the same sort of thickness as the Christmas tree. And what's left you could do a little pasty with or something, with more Nutella, make a Nutella pasty as a treat for the chef. Right, so when you've done that, you've now got to somehow create a star. Really hard this is, I'm not very good at this.
Okay, Karen.
Let's get Nana Kath to do the star because she's the creative one. Go on, Nana Kath. Woo!
Can it be?
Say hi, Nana Kath.
Yeah, hello. Can it have layers?
Doesn't matter, it just needs a star. It's the right size for that Christmas tree.
Okay. Well, I think the easiest way to make a star is to cut a triangle.
Ooh.
And then cut another one.
Ooh. Ooh.
Peel them out. Whoops. And then put one on top of the other if you've got them the same size.
Oh, magic. Look at that. That's amazing, Nana Kath.
Actually, it's a bit better that way around, isn't it?
That's amazing, Nana Kath. That would be perfect.
There you are.
Let me just do a quick trick, just to make sure it all sticks together. Can you see my brush, Nana Kath?
Yes, it fell off.
Thank you. Right, so now brush the inside of that so it all sticks together nicely. And then you got a really nice star for the top of the Christmas tree. How beautiful is that?
Don't you need to brush that as well?
Yep, we do. And stick that on there like that. Look at that. Beautiful. And then you've got to brush the whole thing, top to bottom, get right into all these little edges. Do the main bit as well. Do the main bit nice and quick. Because what this does is it makes it all beautiful on the outside and glazed and shiny and beautiful. But you've got to get right into each of the Christmas trees carefully, because you want all these to fluff up and get all crispy and lovely. So right into each little arm. Right into each arm, all the way to the top. Oh, look at that. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? And then you've got a beautiful Nutella Christmas tree, we hope. So then, when you finish painting it, which I haven't quite finished, just enough, that little bit of egg, that's why you add that little bit of water in, to make it go that little bit further, so you've done it all with one egg yolk. Cool, look at that. I think we're ready to go, Nanika. So now you bung that in the oven for 20 minutes on 200 degrees centigrade. Don't burn yourself. Pop it in, and I'll see you in 20 minutes. 20 minutes later, and the big reveal. Woo! Look at that! Look at that! Chocolate tree! So now, to make it all Christmas beautiful, the final touch is to just get your icing sugar, put it across the sieve like that, and just sieve it through like that. Look at that. Giving it all that lovely Christmas snow.
Giving it all that, Bob.
Giving it all that lovely Christmas snow. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Beautiful. And then just for the final flourish, we've got a little bag of Christmas baubles. They're actually marshmallows and Smarties. You can sprinkle those along, so they all look like little beautiful Christmassy bits all the way along. Look at that. Oh. And there you have Grandad Bob and Nana Kat's Christmas tree. Happy Christmas, guys!